Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Talking Skritt, the Guild Wars 2 show about everything in and around Tyria. I'm your host John, better known as Dale around Yaxben, and we have a fantastic show for you. What is to come in 2015? The ESL Pro League signups, 64-bit client, maybe finding out what happened to Rytlock. Don't worry, not an actual spoiler, and much more. But first, let me introduce you to my fellow host, a moderator over at MMO Champion. Here's a change up. No Ryan Reynolds jokes. Or are there? Say hello to Jim. And the facehugger.
Hi everybody. That was a good one, Dale. That was a good joke. That was subtle. Bravo. You're getting better at this.
Yeah.
Also, my wife.
I hope she's more than just a hand. Never mind. Not gonna say that on the internet.
Both of mine are here.
Okay, writer for Game Breaker. The answer to the age-old question: how many legendaries can one man go for before he cracks? Say hello to Age.
Oh, we'll find out. I mean,
Yeah.
it's like 6 months.
I'll say, aren't you
Find out.
going after all of them since the collection thing?
Yeah, I unlocked all of them. All the volume ones. I finished a quarter of them, I guess. So we got...
Well,
Yeah.
good luck to you, sir. I hope you don't go crazy. Or, you know what? That'd make for a good show.
Thanks.
Uh,
Yeah.
I kind of like how I see.
Probably.
I kind of like how I see Jim constantly looking out the side of his, like the corner of his eye, just like is it coming back? And you're muted.
Yeah, no, I muted
Oh.
my mic because Krista's got her speakers on a little bit in the
Oh,
peripheral here, and it's kind of giving me that half-second delay on everything.
All right. Okay, let's start by there was a blog post and I think it was more so at the beginning of the week, just saying what is to come for 2015, and you know they're talking about general bug and polishing and stuff like that. Talked about raids and squad UI and expect that. And in case you don't know, I think they said even if you don't have a commander tag, you can still set up squads. But I think they've already established that. But it's just good to know again, because I'm sure still some people are going to be like, do I need a commander tag? But you only need a commander tag if you want to, what is it, up to 50 people for the squad UI, like for commanders?
It's for raids, though, I believe.
Well, but the squad UI is being used in the, if you have a commander tag in the open world, you can make those squads
yeah.
up to 50 people, I believe.
Up to 50 people, yeah. That's correct.
And then the raids are just for 10. So, and you don't need a commander tag for that. They're also talking about giving us the new legendaries that we know about so far, which are Australia, which is the axe. Astralaria, sorry.
Yeah.
Hope, which is the pistol, and Nevermore, which is the staff, which we've talked about when they did the guild chat about that. Also, they're talking about PvP leagues and all that stuff coming into play. Now, I mean, are you guys excited for this? Because I haven't really heard much of anything. Like, a lot of this stuff was supposed to kind of be, I don't know, sounded like it was supposed to be kind of in there at launch. I mean, they did say that raids, were not coming till a couple months after, or some time after. I don't think they gave an exact time.
I was confused about the legendaries being delayed, but you know what? Whatever. If they're putting in the Gen 2 legendaries piecemeal anyway, so even if they're just a little bit delayed, that's fine. I don't really have too much of a problem with it. I was confused at first, but it's not that big a deal. I'm getting that axe. I don't have anybody that uses an axe, but I'm gonna make someone use an axe so I can get that.
Nice. Yeah, I was actually confused that these three legendaries weren't in at launch, but doing the legendary precursor crafting, I realized like, hey, some of this might actually be similar to what the new legendary precursor crafting might be, so I'm gonna like save materials for that and like work on those first. And I pretty much get an idea of what you need to do to finish at least volume 1 of a legendary.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know. I didn't follow the PvP League stuff so much at like throughout the whole thing, but I was expecting that to kind of be like in at launch. Like I'm a little surprised that it wasn't. To be perfectly honest, I was so busy with all of the other Heart of Thorns stuff, and I'm not a PvPer. I thought it was.
Well, here you go. This is the reason why. So, with the launch of Heart of Thorns came all the elite specializations. And with that came a lot of OP-ness in certain classes. I won't name any Guardians names, but yeah, that happened. And
Thieves? I'm sorry, did you say thieves?
Thieves got a little better, actually.
My I got into one stronghold map, and all I did was get juggled by thieves using the elite skill. I can't remember what it is, but it's just
impacts,
like
right?
bam, bam. Like what is it? Haste, impact, and then I was dead.
The best thing ever.
And there were like 3 thieves on the enemy team, and it's just like I walk out of base, haste, bam, 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 dead.
Yeah, you really need haste impact strike to actually land that skill, unless you know you can hit that skill. Otherwise, people will just like walk away from you.
That's what I want to see. Three of the thieves just juggling one person around, and then a guardian runs over, like starts beating the crap out of them. They're like, "This is unfair."
That's pretty much, yeah. So with that, they're doing balancing so that things are getting ready for PvP leagues. So hopefully warriors get buffed somehow, some way. Some balancing issues here and there. Warriors with Berserker, it's just not useful.
Okay.
Yeah, there's like 1 or 2 like high level end builds that you can use, but otherwise, if you watch the PvP ESL weeklies, I did not see one warrior at all. So yeah, that kind of gets to that point. So hopefully some balances come in there, and when they're in, they're going to start leagues, which is in 10 days. So I believe.
Yeah, we'll be talking about that more. So like in this blog post, it was kind of just a general like with their roadmap for 2015, and they also start talking about Winter's Day, which they said was going to start December 15th. Now, the way they said new rewards, outfits, skins, and festive decorations for guild halls. Now, I wonder if new rewards is the only new part and not like new outfits, new skins. Like,
I think they meant new everything.
Okay.
Generally speaking, when you say new and then list things, you mean new all of those things.
I'm hopeful.
It would be kind of rules lawyery to really say, no, we just said new rewards and then skins and outfits.
Yeah, that's... And since they do put at the end, because they actually do say at the end, and festive decorations, since those weren't in last year, I'm assuming they're referring to everything as new. But, time will tell, and, I mean... is everybody going to be going after some Christmas-themed guild hall decorations?
The guild hall decorations, maybe.
If there's like mistletoe, I'm going to put it all over the place and then screw people over.
I was going to say, I think that would be interesting if there was like a mistletoe decoration that you can interact and it would just grab like the two people and they have to like kiss under it or something.
Oh, jeez.
I mean, amazing.
Yeah, see?
There's a lot of opportunity for them to do stuff like that. I don't know how intricate they're going to get with all the guild hall decorations.
Yeah, I'm kind of intrigued to see how they play out, because I didn't realize this till I actually got one of the weapons for Halloween, the hammer that was the jack-o'-lantern on a stick or whatever.
Pumpkin smasher.
Yeah, it was actually a decoration, or I'm assuming because it says like scribe and a number value.
Well, for decorations, I know there were like little pumpkins you can get for Halloween that you can put in your guild hall. So I'm thinking things like that.
Okay.
Like wreaths and maybe like lights or something like that.
Yeah, and I figured that one was one of the, because I think one of our guildies also had one of the other Halloween weapons, and they said, oh, it didn't have it on that one. Which, to be fair, if it's just basically a jack-o'-lantern on a stick, that's probably a lot easier to set in a guild hall. If it doesn't change, I don't know, but it's probably a lot easier than a sword.
Right now, enjoy your guild halls not being decorated for Christmas, because come next year, as soon as Halloween's over, there will be people who will start decorating just like in real life. That
would have been kind of funny, like if they had like a week before Halloween, they would have put like Winter's Day decorations in the gem store. Just
Oh,
been like,
wow.
really? Arena,
You know,
please do that for next year.
it would be funny if you saw like somebody in Lion's Arch trying to put up Winter's Day decorations, and somebody is like standing beneath them. They're like up on a ladder or something. It's like it was just Mad King's Festival. What are you doing?
No. Like you're saying, there'd be one person trying to set up like Winter's Day decorations during Halloween, and the Mad King would just come over and open a door behind him and like suck him into the Mad King's realm.
Eh.
Oh man, that would be pretty. Like I think that would be hilarious if they did that in the like gem store next year. Before that, because I think everybody would just be like, really. And they're the type of devs that would probably do that and probably laugh the whole time.
Yeah.
One of the other things they started talking about was they've already done some work improving combat visibility with the launch of the expansion, and they said they wanted to improve on that in the next couple of months. And they said they really wanted to allow the action-based combat to shine. So
That'd be really, really
yeah,
good.
it's like, have we not even seen like all it can do? Like this is gonna be.
I think it's one of those things that they just want to keep enabling players to be able to do, the cool stuff. And I was actually talking with some friends about this last night. I was talking about, World of Warcraft with BlizzCon happening. I can't go back to a game like that. I can't. Like a friend of mine, one of our guildmates, my friend Scott, he was playing Rift a while ago, back before the launch of the current expansion, and I was trying to play with him because he seemed to be having a lot of fun with it, and it's always fun to play with friends. So I'm playing, and I'm trying to dodge roll. I can't not dodge roll in an MMO anymore. I can't handle it. I feel so handicapped being that stationary.
Well, it is
And
one of
Rift
those
is
things.
actually pretty forgiving. A lot of the abilities you can fire while moving, but
Yeah, I've been hopping. Like I was hopping into Rift every once in a while before, and yeah, I know what you mean. Like I could play it, but I'm just like, I feel like I'm just like almost like playing like Simon, like red, red, blue, red, red, blue. Like okay, next thing. Like yeah, it's not engaging as much. But granted, like I was running around in leveling zones, so I wasn't doing the raiding content. So
I tried playing games like that too, and I can still play them, but not for long periods of time because I'll just get really tired or bored, and like I need action combat nowadays. To
I mean, I look at Rift and stuff like that as more of a go and play in a night with a bunch of friends as a joke. Because I think the one time, like I said before the expansion, I was talking with Age, and I was saying I was in Rift, and they actually had Halloween corgi masks. Well, I think with their system, I could actually trade that, and it would unlock without making it bound. And I just think it'd be hilarious if our guild just ran around as a bunch of corgi people. But nothing serious though. But yeah, that's and yeah, that was one thing. What chat's bringing up about noticing bosses going translucent. I noticed that with the what are the bristlebacks, like when you do like the hero points and stuff like that, like with the champion bristlebacks that would do the roll. Every once in a while, I would just notice them blink out of existence and then come back. Like, I was like, so are they Tuvians or?
I don't know. I think what Carnifex is pointing at is some of them going like see-through, just to make visibility easier for some bosses where like they're so big that they actually obscure part of your view.
Okay.
But I haven't seen that. I haven't had much of a chance to play with some of the bigger stuff, but
just can't see myself when there's like 100 other people shooting like fire and lightning and all that stuff.
I think that's one of the bigger things that I think they said they were working on is particle effect culling, so that it can kind of tone things down a little bit. So
okay,
Nice.
like you mean okay, I think I was doing the Car Queen today, and I noticed some things were fading out, so I would imagine that's as intended, just like we're saying, to maybe help with the system, your system, or but if it isn't, then I hope they make mention of like, oh no, that's not a thing. Why do you guys like it? We'll leave it in. Like, but they also said after Winter's Day that they expect them to come back and start telling us about looking ahead for 2016. So I think the biggest question is, what is on your 2016 wish list? Like, and I'd love to hear what chat comes up with as well.
I want to see the next season of Living Story start, or like the next set of chapters.
Or like at least like a time of like, oh, we were thinking about doing it in
whenever they're going to pop that back up. I mean, I like and I don't know how long we want to go before we start talking about the story.
I was going to say, I was probably going to post that question to near the end of the video of like, I was thinking maybe next week, because I've already started seeing podcasts start saying like, hey, like we're going to start talking about, so
how long is long enough for spoiler prevention?
Yeah, so I think we'll probably gauge the live audience after the show, and you on YouTube, leave your comments in there and let us know. I'm thinking probably next week, because like I said, I've seen other podcasts already like this week start doing it, so I don't know.
But
I'm personally gonna start doing story stuff on my site next week, but it's gonna be like short iterations, like 1-2 chapters a week, so that like people, it's not really spoilery still, but by December it I should be halfway into the story, so should be okay.
We'll be moving at a lot faster pace.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
That's
well, and that's definitely good for an actual like blog type thing, and getting into the very details of it. So
what about you, Dale?
My wish list? Some kind of summoner build for the Elementalist.
I think we're at least a year out of getting another elite specialization, I think. At least.
I mean,
that'd be really quick.
And that's the hardest thing, without going into any spoilers, like, because you're hinting at like season 3. It's like, oh, I'd like to know when season 3 is happening. It's like maybe we'll delve into more of that next week or something, just so we don't do spoilers or anything like that. But yeah, I can't wait to see where the story goes. That's
definitely. For mechanics, I'm just happy that they're going to be doing quick iterations on all the balance changes and everything. That's one thing I've always been really happy with ArenaNet on, is they are very quick to iterate on stuff. They're very quick to get bug fixes out. They're very quick to get changes in. So,
and hopefully maybe for 2016 sometime, templates. Please.
There you go.
Nice. That'd be very nice.
That'd be very helpful.
Okay. My list is like, let me just get my pad here.
Oh God.
Well, here goes the rest of the hour.
So here we go. First and foremost is buff or fix like the thief base trait lines. They're just a mess right now.
What is it like? I was seeing some talk about that. Like, is it?
So, well, I won't get too much into it because we have to allocate time to other stuff. But basically, you take Shadow Arts for survivability, but with Daredevil, you don't take Shadow Arts because you're not using much stealth unless you're using Dagger Pistol. So you're left with like Deadly Arts, Trickery, Daredevil. Unless you go with Sword Dagger, then I would suggest Critical Strikes and stuff like that.
So basically, the stuff that you want is you either have necessary trait lines, and it leaves no room for actual real building of anything.
So it's like you're getting a ton of damage, but like no survivability options, or just very few survivability options that are very dependent on things like successfully evading, for example. Those are some of the big issues I have. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm gonna put my pad down.
Ooh, some kind of thing to trigger the whole guild hall into a temporary PvP thing.
Oh, that'd be nice.
Actually, now that I think about it, what you guys were talking about with templates, why not templates for guild hall decoration?
That would be really difficult.
I said,
Just because of
let's
the
walk before we run, man. Let's walk before we run. Let's get character
Well,
templates.
I mean, state saving. I mean, that's basically the same thing. Is like you've got X number of objects in your guild hall, save it off to a list, and it's like click, click, boom, done.
I was gonna say, if it's based on like the general architecture, now there might have to be some kind of thing like, can you theoretically put a decoration where a building's going to go? I mean, because I can see how that could screw with it. But
it's just, yeah, I don't.
I mean, it's not like the landscape is changing besides where the buildings and stuff are.
Well, when you go to apply the template, they already, I'm guessing they already have stuff in place where it's like, okay, I'm trying to place this object. I can't place it there because there's a building. If you go to apply the template, it would just, go to place every object. If there's an error and it says, hey, you can't place that there, don't place that object.
I would like that just because I've seen a lot of people on Reddit, on the forums, being like, oh, here's our guild, made jumping puzzle. So it's like, are they stuck with that? I mean, it would be cool to have it there. Or like they could even do like a Winter's Day themed jumping puzzle. And so
to be honest,
oh, go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say, to be honest, they don't have build templates that slot in 9 different traits. Right now. So I agree with. I would like to see that first before they attempt that.
Yeah, it's like that's why I was saying let's walk before we run here. let's get the
also, and to address Red Wolf's comment in chat with whose computer it gets saved on. I don't want templates to be saved on local computer for any kind of templates, because say you go over and you play at somebody else's house, you don't have access to any of your templates.
Yeah.
So this would all be server stuff, but templates are it's strings. So
yeah, and therein lies kind of the problem. So for guild halls, there are a max of 2,000 decorations, I believe it was.
Yes.
So let's say a guild puts in 1,500 decorations. That's for one guild. So imagine that across all guilds in both regions. It's not that much data, but you need a server for all that too.
If they format it properly, it's not that much data. It's not that much data, and it doesn't matter like the number of templates you have.
And also if it's a priority on their list.
Oh, it's probably not, but we did say wish list, so.
This is true.
Yeah. Well, if the devs want to argue about that and say it is a lot of data, we have the perfect place to do it. The ESL Pro League.
I'm not challenging the devs to a match. I'm not going to do that.
Come on, I think I last time already jokingly challenged Absurd, so.
If Roy Crossner's on a Revenant, I think you kick our butts real bad.
To be fair, I was using it as a segue. Because the other blog post they put out was about the ESL Pro League signups. Basically, there already is 4 teams for each region. For North America, it's Absurd, Boston Boys, Apex Prime, and Team Faded. And for EU, it's Orange Logo, Civilized Gentlemen, Rank 55 Dragons, and Vermilion. The remaining 4 slots for each region, so that's 8 total. The Open Qualifier starts Saturday, November 14th at 5 a.m. Pacific Time for EU and 2 p.m. Pacific Time for North America. And basically, on the blog post, there's these sign-up forms for that. And basically, people are going to battle it out to see if they can take one of those spots. And do remember, I think each prize pool for each tournament is, what, $200,000? So,
I think
not
that's
bad.
It, yeah. And then wasn't it the tournament is 500 at the end of the season?
Yes, I believe. So everyone gets money.
Yeah, it's
really? I get money? I didn't even enter. Oh, this is awesome. I like this.
Everyone participating gets money. I'm sorry, but
like at what level can I just come in last and still get money, or?
If you're participating and you come in last, you get money. Your team gets money.
All right. I need some ringers. But
we
also
talked about that.
Yeah. Yeah, you're my ringer. We already have one.
When you're a dragon.
Oh, crap. All right. And once those remaining 4 slots for each region are occupied, the finals will take place on Monday, November 8th or November 16th at 8 a.m. Pacific time. Once again, that's for EU, and 5 p.m. Pacific time for NA. And I think that's where the money is going to be happening. So, are any of you guys going to tune in for this? To be fair, I probably won't be tuning in for the EU ones, but that'll be a little rough.
I'll probably throw it up on the side.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'd be able to.
Yeah, that'd be kind of early in the morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be able to watch that at work. Use that as a background noise.
Yeah,
wish I could
I'll
do that.
watch the rebroadcast of it, if anything.
And maybe they have to make some rules or something, because the next thing we have on our list, could it give them a tactical advantage? Because they just announced that they are doing the beta for the 64-bit client. Now, I'm not a computer person. So what is this 64-bit client, guys?
It's a 64-bit client.
I wish it was alcohol. As the 64-bit client is not. So what you're running right now is a Guild Wars 2 on 32-bit. 64-bit is a different client. It just uses different processes. To put in layman terms, I guess, would that be the right way?
32-bit is capped at 4 gigs of RAM. That is the highest that you can get. You can still access virtual RAM, and computers do make use of virtual RAM, but with a 64-bit client, I think it caps at like 16 gigs, maybe higher than that. I think like 32 gigs. I'm not sure. I'd never really looked into it, but it's higher than that cap, so you have a greater pool of actual physical memory before you get running into virtual memory. And generally speaking, being able to utilize more of your hardware is always a good thing. There's never a point in time where that would be a bad thing. However, it is beta, so beta is beta, and until it's done, there's really nothing that you can have happen that you can say, oh hey, it's busted. Oh, it's a beta. So,
and that's the important thing to stress right now. It is a beta client, so
I started running it. I am actually happy with the load on my computer. Generally speaking, most MMOs are more CPU intensive because all of the assets are loaded on your computer already. Because when they install stuff to your computer, they don't want to be sending like texture files and model files back and forth over your internet connection, because that'd be really silly. That'd be a lot of data, and people do have data caps. So generally speaking, it's just your computer getting commands from the server, having to process them, build the world by saying, okay, I have model IDs and texture IDs and player IDs and all that good stuff, and pinging back and forth the information. The 64-bit client just means you have a greater scratchpad, effectively, to work with before your computer has to start tearing away that scratchpad and writing something new down, and it'll be better hardware utilization all around when it's finalized. And the one thing I'm really impressed with is just download the exe and drop it in your Guild Wars 2 folder. And it uses the same data file, so you don't have to basically re-download the entire game.
And that's important to know, because I know when they first announced this, a lot of people were actually re-downloading the game. So yeah, like Jim said, you can just put in the executable, and it should run off the same files. So
you'd have to change whatever shortcuts you used to start Guild Wars 2, but hey,
it's a small price to pay for not having to re-download a whole game.
Yeah.
And it's actually good in I guess certain cases. For me, for example, I was having a lot of crashes with 32-bit. When I switched to 64, I didn't have any as of right now, and that's really good for me. But I know people that had 32-bit and weren't crashing at all and switched to 64, and they started crashing once or twice. So it's kind of weird how that works, but yeah, again, it's in beta, so we'll see if that happens. more
Yeah,
often
it's
than not.
yeah. Hopefully, it rolls out a lot faster than the Mac client, which it will be a lot. Like I think we were talking about this jokingly at the before the show, and it is probably easier to write for, you know, that client since
PC.
it's both Windows
Yeah.
instead of a whole different operating system.
PC stuff is generally faster developed, and I can't say anything to the intricacies of developing for a Mac because I've never done it, but it clearly for game developers, they generally like the bigger budget guys can, oh yeah, it's for Mac and PC, but some other developers it's just like you're gonna have to make do because I guess it really is just that different. So
I was gonna say I haven't upgraded yet, but have either of you?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, and
I actually just realized I had to change my other shortcut because I changed the shortcut on my desktop, but the shortcut that shows up in the start menu is actually different. So I was starting it from there instead of the one from my desktop. So I was still using the 32-bit client there, which was weird.
nice. Well, did you notice any like side by side comparisons, like as you're hopping between the two by accident?
But not really, no.
Alright. I mean, so far, like I was say, I think we were talking earlier with chat was saying like some of them were experiencing almost world holes and stuff like that. Have you guys run into any issues like that? And I think it's important to note if you are experiencing this stuff, report it. Like let them know.
I know some people are still having some sort of memory leak, or on 32-bit you were getting capped at 4 gigs, which is like your RAM entirely. So that can screw you. For me, I noticed when I switched to 64-bit, I got more frames actually in big fights. So with Karka Queen, I was like surrounded by 100 other people, and I still got way more frames than on 32-bit, and I didn't crash. So I'm.
And didn't you say you did Frozen Maw and you had like
I did
30
Frozen
FPS?
Maw as well. I got a solid 30 FPS with a lot of people.
That's good.
So I did Frozen Maw and Karka Queen to test the 64-bit, and yeah, they both gave me more frames, and I was able to actually move around and not be horribly jaggy. I was like a little bit jaggy than usual, but that's because when I'm by myself, I'm like at 100-something frames.
I think I was getting a little bit of stuttering when I first loaded in, but that was me loading into Lion's Arch during peak hours. So I don't know anybody who doesn't experience at least a minor drop in FPS when you're running around in Lion's Arch with a lot of other people there. But that I only noticed that the first day, and every time I open it, I notice that there's a minor patch to it. So I'm assuming they're doing, like I said earlier in the show, is just rapid iteration. As soon as they get, reports in, they take a look at it, they fix it, they throw the fix at the client launcher, and I've always been satisfied with the way they patch anything because it's just like, okay, there's a fix, it's in.
Except when I'm doing Terraria, that just... Yeah.
There will be a new build available in 55 minutes, and the entirety of map chat is like, we are in the middle of this event, you're going to have to wait.
Yeah, but then people leave because, they just follow the messages. And then they can't get back into the map because it's different builds and all that stuff. Yeah.
I'll say overall, are you guys happy that they are now doing a 64-bit client? I mean, I think this is one of the things they've been people have been asking about. On top, like I think the other thing I've always heard is like, what is it, DirectX 11 and I think and 10 at launch. I mean, so it's like, and I've heard is there a 64-bit client? So luckily they're now doing that one.
This is a really good thing. I mean, the only I think one of the bigger issues that why people it's kind of like a lowest common denominator developing. Because the 32-bit is, you have a 32-bit system. Everybody has that. That's just how everything runs right now. So they can guarantee that, hey, this is going to work on systems. 64-bit, some people are still running 32-bit systems, and they can't run a 64-bit client. So they don't want to put that option out there for people who don't know what it means. So they
Especially
don't want
because
somebody downloading the 64-bit.
yeah, especially
Other
because
people
you
have
know
multiple
at launch they were always saying how like oh this game you can run on lower end machines or something like that. So it's like yeah if they kind of were only like a only 64-bit it would kind of push
It's
those people out possibly.
it's something that comes up in conversations when people talk about console gaming versus PC, where hey, the console has less hardware than your crazy computer and it's getting better graphics. Well, it's because the console has a set of hardware specs. So the company that's making the video game can optimize the game for those specs. So the whole thing with this lowest common denominator programming that I was talking about is, with PC, you're like, okay, they can have the potato that our good friend Aaron runs on, and then you have Total Biscuit who's got two Titans. He's got $5,000 sunk into his video cards, and then the rest of the computer. So that's the kind of thing we're dealing with here. So if they're opening up, if they're widening, their development base to be able to do this, it just means that they've got more people to work on back-end systems, and weird crashes that don't necessarily have anything to do with gameplay, stuff gets fixed faster.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much the same thing. I like the broadening of the spectrum to opening more to high-end PCs, but still keeping the low-end PCs relevant.
Yeah,
It also means that the whole DirectX 11 thing that you mentioned is also likely after something like this gets fleshed out and is released.
so for those DirectX 11 people, hang in there possibly. Possibly.
Awesome.
Nothing's off the table, but we can't see the table. And with this kind of over the past week, like it's been trickled in there, but I think Tuesday, the gem store, we got a bunch of stuff, but then over the week they kind of trickled out a couple other things. The first thing up was the Exalted Glider, which is 400 gems. And these pictures, thanks to Dolphy, gathering all this information so you don't have to waste your gems if you don't like it. So thank you again.
I like that glider.
I do too. I'm probably
It's a
gonna
nice
get it.
glider.
You cannot dye it though, so just do note that. It's something important to note since some of them can be and some of them can't, but this unfortunately is not one of them.
I kind of wish there was like yellow trailing off, kind of like the Guild Wars 2 hot gliders.
Mm-hmm.
But
it's
still pretty nice.
It's kind of got the air trail, but it's not as much.
It's not the same, man.
Yeah, and chat's saying they like the ultimate version a bit better. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I try to like theme all my characters to like my Necro. Yeah, I probably will never change that Heart of Thorns glider. So much green.
The one thing that I kind of wish is that you could use the white glow instead of the yellow, because there are some of the Exalted that have like the yellow glow and some of them have the white glow. It'd be kind of nice if you could pick that one.
Mm-hmm.
So.
That's true.
Another thing that was, I think, brought out Tuesday but wasn't actually put up in like their blog post or anything was the Dread Quiver. I mean, it's just a back piece, 350 gems, nothing, but it does give some people that want a quiver. I mean, there's not that many. I think there's the Ascendant one you can craft, the Mystic Forge.
Roxas,
and I believe this one. So
I've said this ever since Flame and Frost. Roxas quiver is the best quiver. There is no other quiver.
It's big. Like it's a little excessive. It looks like you can almost take that off of your back and beat people with it.
Which I'm still waiting
Roxas
for.
quiver, not this. This one you could, it looks like the same thing. You could take it off your back and beat someone with it when you run out of arrows. I mean, I'm not saying I don't like Roxas quiver. It's just I wouldn't use it on any of my characters.
And chat's agreeing with you. Roxas quiver is better.
I've used that on my Thief ever since I've gotten it. I've never switched it for anything else. This one actually does seem suitable for a char, though, if you're going in that RP role.
it's matching all the reclaimed weapons that were released, so
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of confused why they called it the Dread Quiver.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like reclaimed quiver would have made more
I
sense
mean, I
because that
guess it's a
actually matches the
little
reclaimed
bit,
set.
well, because it's spelled, Dread. It's like it kind of resembles like dredge a little bit, but that's not, you know.
Yeah, I don't know. I am kind of sad that it's really hard to get a back piece in this game. Like it is incredibly difficult to get a back piece,
I
and
mean,
a
a
lot
visual
of them.
one, yeah, it's. I mean,
Mm.
you like the visual ones that look somewhat good. Like if you like the guild backpack, I mean, you can get one fairly, quickly if you're in a guild.
But it's
Um,
just there's such a limited stat set. It's just kind of difficult to fill that gear slot a lot of the times. It's kind of annoying.
yeah,
That's
I
true.
mean, yeah, it depends on like, are you talking about stat wise or visually? Because now I'm thinking about it. I mean, you also have now all the crafting backpacks, so it's.
Well, there are now a hell of a lot more skins with the crafting backpacks, and I'm happy about that. But I'm talking about, the actual piece of gear. It's
Oh,
actually
okay.
it feels really difficult because I don't think there are any crap like the crafted ones are the only ones that are really easy to get. And I think that I don't know. No, you can select the stats on that.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I'm just thinking ascended stuff.
Ascended stuff, yeah, it's a little bit more limited.
Yeah. So
Well, I mean, also, I mean, that's a lot of people that are talking about is how hard it is to get ascended stuff now because of Heart of Thorns.
oh yeah, with the
Especially,
patches. Yeah.
yeah, especially because I think now cloth requires leather, so.
Yeah, you have to make a patch, and it's cloth plus leather, and then you have to make the insignia. I don't know how I feel about it. I really don't. It's weird.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully they'll keep looking at it and listen and balance accordingly because
Uh,
I remember I was talking with Tavik in our guild the other day. What was it? They removed one bolt of Gossamer but added like two Alonian like it's like,
oh,
or not bolt of Gossamer but bolt of, the ascended one,
Damask.
Okay.
the mask. But it's like that's that's not helping. Like it's already annoying
yeah.
enough.
I, I've said this before, but I don't personally like ascended crafting just because of the time gating. But I understand why it's there. I just don't like it all too much. But this being like really expensive, I'm 50-50 on, just because yes, I understand you don't want people to rush it, but it's a lot to make ascended these days.
Okay,
Uh,
and Tavik in chat's actually saying they removed one bolt of mask but added three Alonian leather.
And
And
then
I do agree
Carnifex
with, yeah, I do agree with what Carnifex was saying of like Silk has crashed and that kind of resulted in Damask being roughly five gold lower. I really think that that's just mostly just because there's a lot of people in the new area. Like everybody's going to those areas,
hmm
so in the end you're gonna get more Silk drops. So hopefully it makes it a little bit better, but I don't know. Silk's always, or Damask has always been annoying to get. And I mean, like, so what would that make it roughly? 10 gold? Because, I mean, wasn't like Damask like.
8 to 10.
I
Yeah.
was say, I remember
Because I was
Damask was like
getting like
13 or
13
15.
gold for selling a bolt of Damask.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's still more pricey than any of the other ones.
You need silk to make damask? I don't
Yep.
remember.
100,
Yeah.
100 bolts of silk per piece
Okay.
of Damask.
Okay, so if you're like Aaron and farm silver waste, it's easy enough for you. But,
Well, the issue I always had with Damask is that it's 100 bolts of silk, whereas the metal and the leather equivalents are only 50 of the tough leather, is it? And mithril.
Mm-hmm.
It's only 50 mithril ingots and 50 of the leather. So it's that one thing where it's like cloth is already double the amount of material you have to invest, and cloth is also used for all crafting professions. So cloth can only be gotten by salvaging stuff. So
it's highly sought after by everyone, and kind of screws over
cloth
the
is that one thing that
tailor.
it's like it is used by literally everything. You cannot get away from it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I understand now. Okay.
Just wait till they add the bandage crafting discipline in the game.
Medic.
Yeah.
I actually wouldn't mind that.
You want to use all your cloth for that?
It's like, I'm sorry, we're out of cloth. We can't heal you. I'm sorry.
It's like you're like healing them with an ascended bandage, and you're like, I need my 5 gold back for this, by the way.
It's like, wait, what?
You can bill them before you heal them.
I wouldn't mind having more consumables that are focused more on like immediate use.
Yeah.
Unless I really need it, I will probably not make ascended medic tools. I'm sorry.
Oh God.
Another thing they had in the gem store was the couple minis. I believe that one's the mini bone breaker for 350 gems. The next one I believe is the mini tiger for 350, and the mini wyvern for 350 gems. So, would you guys get any of these minis, and do you like them? And I think they did say the wyvern does not fly.
That's disappointing. That needed to be one of its. That needed to be one of its idle animations, like flying around and leaving like the trails of fire, like the big wyvern bosses in Verdant Brink do.
Yeah, at least if you're walking around. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I like the bone break. I wish you could tame bone breakers as a ranger, because those things just look cool. The animations are fantastic on them. That being said, I really don't think I'll be getting minis because I'm not really a mini guy. I usually have mine hidden. But I do like the bone breaker.
I, for the most part, have my minis hidden except on my guardian.
Because Penny Apple.
Yeah, golden pig all the way. Best mini in the game, hands down.
Okay.
Another thing they added, which I'm surprised is only a backpack, is the glittering wings backpack, 500 gems. I didn't see anywhere where they said they were actually flight ones, so if someone in chat has seen that, you know, let me know.
Not. Those are just a back piece, and I was thinking the exact same thing. Why is this not also a glider?
Yeah, especially when it was rolled out with these exalted glider, I was like, oh, it's, you know, a backpack and a thing. And it's like, oh no, it's just a backpack. Okay.
Yeah, that's a little disappointing. I saw someone with it, and they made a Sylvari character with it and some different armor that looked fantastic. And I think Arena have to like pay attention a little bit more to their back pieces that they put out, because we're gonna assume if they look like we can glide with them, you know, we're gonna assume they could double as a glider, unless like they have a big price on them, then we know for sure they're going to be for gliders.
Like the 700 gem bat wings.
Yeah.
A lot of their back pieces are very wing-like. So I think that's one of the things where it's like, okay, basically anything they put out as a back piece that looks remotely like this is something they could turn into a glider. And it's, I don't know, maybe once this rolls through and like comes back on the store next time, they'll make it a glider. I don't know.
Like this does, like, by the looks of it, it doesn't even have to do anything. Maybe like a few little sparkles in the back as you glide, but as it is, it looks like a glider to me.
Yeah,
that's kind of like the thought I had about the Spinal Blades back pieces, where it actually has, like, as a glider, it would be like holographic wings in between the blade arms, and then, you know, like jetpack particles coming out of the actual jetpack. That would have been fantastic.
Yeah, there's like the Tequatl wings, the dragon wings, the
shattered holographic dragon
Honestly,
wings.
if you use the Tequatl wings, I want to see the wings struggle as you're flying, like trying to keep you up.
The Tequatl wings would need to be expanded to the size of the bat wings.
No, keep them the same. I want to see them struggle as you're going, like,
It'd be like the T-Rex arms of wings.
Uh,
That would be so great. But kind of in theme with the Glittering Wings backpack. These aren't for gems. These are black line tickets. You need black line tickets, and they're one each. The glittering weapons. So they have all of them except for, of course, underwater weapons. And
'Cause they're just getting rid of those, which is sad.
trust me, I knew it was annoying with the Revenant, but as soon as I started liking the glint and Chalice, I was like, oh, I really like this, and then I got underwater. Can only use Shiro and Malik.
Really?
At this time, yes.
yeah.
Oh,
And the worst
God.
part is, it's not like when you go into water, it auto switches them. You have to switch them, and then basically you're coming out of water. It's like, oh, let me switch back, guys. I hit a puddle. Like, if you did that.
Oh.
But yeah, that's
Oh,
so.
Ooh,
gross.
That's a bug.
Well, no, I mean, if you manually switched them for whatever reason,
okay.
so you'd have to switch them back. So that's kind of annoying.
As for these skins,
Yeah,
get to be a pretty butterfly.
yeah, it's.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not for me. They
No.
do look pretty though. I
I
mean,
like the shield though. Shield's pretty cool.
I have been really impressed with a lot of the Black Lion shields lately. I just am kind of sad that they're Black Lion tickets.
Yeah. It would suit if I changed my Sylvari Mesmer a little bit. I think these weapons would suit her a lot.
See, that's the one problem I always have, is that the Black Lion weapons have a very unique look, and you can't do anything about that look. So you kind of have to either use the weapon as a point of contrast with your character's style, or you have to theme your entire character off of the weapon. And
Yeah. Oh, the way that certain character is set up, it's supposed to be like a fancy person, but and like an elegant Sylvari, and this has like a plant and elegance feel to it, so I think it'd be really good.
yeah, I think it definitely, like I said, it looks absolutely beautiful. Actually, now that I'm looking at like the axe and stuff like that, the way my Sylvari warrior is set up, how I have like the white and I'm using, I think, mostly tier 3, like some of the tier 3,
Yeah,
tier 2 cultural stuff, and it kind of has that like almost multiple color thing. Like, I'd go for that stuff.
you know, looking at this kind of looks like think of like a purified Mordrum minion,
Oh,
Mhm.
and then think of Sylvari weaponry prior to this.
huh, you got a point.
That is
So
interesting.
this looks like it could be some kind of like purified Mordrum minion theme going on here.
That makes a lot of sense, actually.
Yeah, I didn't even think of that. And honestly, as I was talking like about like that on my war, I'm like, geez, I think I just sold myself these weapons and that back piece. Crap. Yeah, I know.
On the bright side, these probably won't be too expensive on the trading post. I've noticed that a lot of the trading post prices.
Oh no, it
for
looks
the
like
Black Lion
I'm looking at
weapons
Chad. It looks like Carnifex is going to the trading post. I better get there before he does.
He's gonna
Well,
buy Lay Guard Shield.
Yeah, the ley line weapons,
Oh, okay.
I think.
Oh, the ley line ones. Okay, yeah. I should have probably picked up a couple of ley line ones. They were pretty interesting. I don't know. It was one. Those ones were the ones I was thinking and looking at. Like, these are gonna be popular for everyone else. I probably would never use it, unfortunately.
The only problem is a lot of
The lay guard shield.
Oh, okay.
How much it shows?
The it still images like they don't really do it justice, because it's
Yeah.
a lot of these have really fantastic particle effects. And Deo is now looking up that shield Carnifex.
And the internet's being slow, but
Well, that's because we're doing so many things with the internet right now.
yeah.
Yay.
But yeah, how many like would you go after these ones and like possibly, because I think there's 16 total. How many of them would you go after?
If I had somebody who used a shield or an axe, I would probably go after the axe and the shield.
Shield and sword. Maybe the bow for my ranger.
Yeah, I just pulled it up. Yeah, that does look pretty nice. It's I think last time I did this, I screwed up cameras, so I probably won't do it. Just throwing it in front of ours.
Yeah, that would be a problem.
But it kind of looks like almost like the wing shield. This isn't the ascended one, is it? For the Revenant, no, because that one's more crystallized. I'm just trying to. Sorry, I'm thinking out loud, everybody. But yeah, that actually looks pretty cool, and I think Carnifex is selling me on the leg guard shield.
See,
Carnifex, do you work for ArenaNet?
the only problem I've ever had with shield skills is I don't like many of them. I haven't tried the buffed Guardian ones yet.
You really should. They're really good.
I just the fact that you can move with that bubble and it's a 4-second duration now is just amazing. So I think I might be going like mace shield longbow for my Guardian, but I don't know. I've never really had a high damage output on my Guardian, so the longbow is just there as a more precise ranged weapon.
And interestingly enough, last up, unfortunately we don't have the video for it, but I thought it was kind of hilarious. I found it hilarious because of what people's reactions were for it. Their NCSoft is apparently also doing a MOBA, and it's called Master X Master, and I think it's only taking place in China. And I think I was reading the article, and eventually going to go to Korea. But basically, it sounds like more like a Heroes of the Storm type thing, where they're using other IPs, because they just announced that Rytlock is going to be one of the playable characters in this Master X Master MOBA game. And the publishers are Tencent Games, but I saw this thing, and then I saw it pop up on Reddit. Literally, from some of the first comments were, well, now we know where Rytlock was when he disappeared for so long. And then immediately after that, they were saying, don't say that, they'll make it canon, don't do that.
It's Heroes of the Storm, but for NCSoft style.
Yeah, so it definitely seems interesting.
If it does well, it might come to the U.S. And I'll just about the same thing with Heroes of the Storm. I'll try it.
I will try it depending on what Lineage and Blade and Soul characters they put in there.
Yeah, you're right. I forgot about those.
I was gonna say, I think because I got this from MMO Culture, and I think they actually say in that article that there was a Lineage person that they already announced or something in there, but I didn't play Lineage that heavily to know the characters, and it's been a while.
It seems so weird to just suddenly spin this up. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. What other Guild Wars 2 characters would you like to see in a MOBA style game?
Literally all of Destiny's Edge 1 and 2.
I was gonna say, is Logan like the runner?
Oh God!
You can't chase him. He has speed
He's
buff.
He's not that bad. Stop it.
We could put Guild Wars characters in there, couldn't we?
Oh yeah, any Guild
Hero
Wars
could be in there.
We could. Oh my God! You just opened up a whole bunch of
Actually,
possibilities.
None of the factions characters will be in there.
Why?
Because of NCSoft's dislike of.
Oh yeah, it's true. Damn it.
And no, I agree with Carnifex. Scarlet.
Scarlet would be good.
Scarlet would be fantastic. But yeah, no Cantha characters. So. But yeah, Guild Wars 1 characters could show up. Cormier could come in, and when every time you get a last hit on something, she actually gets credit for it.
I was gonna say that should be like a skill for like Traherne and Cormier, since people love that.
I would put Sin from Guild Wars 1. Sin was good. She's a fire elementalist.
Oh yeah, I remember her.
I'd
And
probably
then
do the Undead Lich from Guild Wars 1.
Paula
Basically
Majoko?
well, no, the actual like from
Oh.
Prophecies, like the final.
And then,
Well, Abaddon, even.
His one skill could be a dance off, and if you don't hit the correct buttons, the opponent, the guy instantly dies. Like that can be his ultimate. There you go.
Oh my God.
I would put so I would put Sin from, if I had to choose from Prophecies, I would put Sin. If I could choose someone from Factions, I'd put Nika. If I could put someone from
Nightfall.
Nightfall would be, I think
Sounds like you're
Varsh.
just putting all the
I would put-
assassins in.
I would put yeah.
I'm noticing a
Although,
pattern.
you know, what is it? The thief.
I put
like,
a mage. I put a mage, an assassin, a dervish could be a tank assassin, and for Eye of the North, I put Jorah, just because I like Jorah.
There you go.
Jorah's awesome.
I don't know. It's the MOBA market is so flooded anymore. It's kind of weird
Yeah.
to see another one getting spun up, and it feels kind of. I mean, no offense to NCSoft or anything, but like this feels kind of ham-fisted.
Well, think
It's like,
about.
hey, HOTS.
Well, it's kind of like this. For Heroes of the Storm, when it popped up, it's gonna take people who like MOBAs, but also like Blizzard games, and then they'll play that game. So for
Right.
people who like NCSoft games and who like MOBAs, they'll play this game.
Well, and that's
For the
why
most
I'm
part.
wondering if the idea of Rytlock being in the game is more news to the Western market, whereas, like I said, and also that article, they talked about Lineage and Lineage 2. I mean, that's always been NCSoft's kind of big ticket. I mean,
Yeah.
like I've tried to tell some people that, you know, when we like that played World of Warcraft, it's like those, like Lineage and Lineage 2 were kind of like World of Warcraft for everywhere else. Like, because, you know, some people think World of Warcraft was great everywhere. It's like, no, not necessarily.
You know, Age, you bring up a good point because I think Sony tried to do a brawl-style game too.
That
Oh,
was
yeah.
like a Smash Brothers thing.
Yeah, yeah. When Nintendo came out with Smash Brothers, and then like Sony, I think tried to do the same thing for the PS3, and I don't think it did well.
Don't know. Just because it was pretty much Smash, but without the like the detailed things that are in Smash. It was really simple how to play that one. I probably would have never played it even if I had a PlayStation at the time. So
You can put that on the box.
I'm sorry. I'm
I
sorry.
probably wouldn't play it.
I probably wouldn't play it even if it came in the system when I bought it.
So Sony, I like you, but that wasn't a good one.
Eh.
It
Well-
didn't have enough depth for me, I guess. That's the thing.
That's all. That's all the kind of info we have this week. Stick around, people, in the for live. We're gonna do a couple of things and then probably go and host. How we I think talked last week that one of the devs is streaming for Extra Life. So if you're gonna stick around, we're gonna do a little bit of after show, do a couple things, and then probably pass it over to them. But Jim, where can you be found?
I can be found on Twitter at MalthanusMMO.
And Age, where can you be found?
I can be found Twitter at Age Night Road and twitch.tv/Age Night Road. I have all the links and all my Twitch channels, so you can just check them out there if you'd like to.
And if you're here live, it's also down below as well. So
Yeah, Dale put it in last week.
yeah,
Very happy.
and I modded him
After,
today.
like, 2
Look,
months.
I'm all up to date.
You're official. You're official now.
Yeah, he's a keeper. You can find me at simply_Deo on Twitter. I have a Twitch, but honestly, right now I'm only really playing Guild Wars 2, and if I do stream, I would probably feel guilty and probably just do it on here. So follow Talking Skritt. I mean, and Age is laughing at me, but you can find if you're just popping in at the end of the show live, we do have our show over at YouTube. Just search Talking Skritt on YouTube. We're usually the first hit. If you're watching the VOD, we're here every Saturday at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific. And as always, we will see you in the game. Good night, everybody.
Later.